My dear learners of Standard 6, it's a very good morning and welcome back to my class. Today I am going to discuss on the new chapter, chapter 10, Rights of Children in Bangladesh. Before going to discuss the chapter, you should know about human rights because rights primarily refers to human rights. Let's know about human rights. Human rights may be defined as universal legal guarantees that belong to human beings and that protect individuals and groups from actions and omission that affect fundamental dignity. Simply we can say, rights are some facilities and opportunities approved by state or society which helps the flourishing of citizen. And nobody can realize their full potential without their rights. Here, what is written in the United Nations Charter in the year 1945 about human beings or about human rights? Follow. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. So, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and honor, and they must enjoy the rights which are provided by the society or state. And they are endowed means provided with a quality or ability or asset with reason and conscience, that means moral sense of rights and which are right or wrong, and they must act or they must behave towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. What are the chief aims of human right? Follow. To facilitate betterment of individual, ensuring proper enjoyment of all rights and flourishing of physical and mental health, increase the social and economic status of a citizen. So, all rights for human beings are written in Human Rights Charter, and the United Nations brought out the Human Rights Charter in the year 1948. And today in this chapter, I will highlight the rights of children. So, who are called the children? Anyone below the age of 18 will be considered a child, but some countries follow their own law and maintain age limit below 18. But in case of Japan, they maintain their children age limit below 20. Let's know about childhood. Childhood means a particular age limit. The idea of childhood differs from society to society, and the criterion to define childhood is also different. Rights of children. The privileges provided by the state to establish dignity of the children and to develop human qualities fully are called rights of children. Dear learners, you know today's children are the prospective generation for the future. And those who are now children will have to take the responsibility of running the state. So for a better future, the whole world has concentrated on their physical and mental health, thoughtfulness, creativity, and above all on developing their entire potentiality. The United Nations has declared the Charter of Children's Right, and the government of our country has expressed full support with it. So, basic objectives of the rights of children. Every child of the society will grow up without any discrimination. They will live a healthy and happy life. Their talent will be developed to speak freely, to move freely, and to express opinion freely. These play helping roles in the development of children. So, it is the duty and responsibility of the state to make all policies and implement the policies putting highest importance on the interest of children. What is the UNO Convention on the Rights of the Child? You know about the UN. What is the United Nations, the largest international organization, started its journey formally on 24th October 1945, and it represents 193 member states of the world at present, and the UN works for global peace, mutual peace and cooperation. What is written in the Convention of UNO Charter? Follow. The UN Convention on the Rights of the Child is the comprehensive internationally binding agreement on the rights of children, which was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in the year 1989, and it is the most widely ratified human rights treaty in history. All countries have ratified it with the exception of the United States of America and Somalia. So, the life of children is dependent on the elders in many respects, we know, and they have no income of their own. As their children, they are physically weak, but on the same ground, they have little knowledge, but because of it, they cannot be deprived of their rights. So, we should not force anything on them. Children also have the right to enjoy freedom in certain matters, and our United Nations has declared certain rights for the children like the elders. So there are 54 sections in the Charter of Children's Right. So about 54 articles follow. For convenience, these can be categorized: right to survival, right to development, right to protection, right to participation. And 189 out of 191 countries have ratified the convention. Once a country has ratified, it has to report to the UN Committee on the Rights of the Child. India ratified in 1992. We sent the first report in 1997, but the second report has covered in the year 1997 to 2000 time frame. But what is the accurate date? On 26 January in the year 1990. Follow here. On 26 January 1990, the main papers of the Charters of Children's Rights were opened for the member countries to sign on, and Bangladesh signed on this charter on that very day. That means the day on 26 January 1990, and Bangladesh made state commitment to implement the charter. So, child rights. About child rights, the basic or fundamental demand must be fulfilled by the state or society. They will get, or the children will get, the proper education, they will get the fresh food and water, they will enjoy the safe environment, they will get the proper healthcare service, they will play in their leisure time, but they will not engage themselves in the hard labor, and the safe and decent shelter they need. So all these basic things or basic demands must be provided by the state or society. Now we will know the rights of children recognized by United Nations. Previously we have learned anyone below the age of 18 will be considered a child, but some countries follow their own law and maintain age limit below 18. All children have equal rights. The rights cannot be differentiated in respect of gender, rich, poor, nationality, religion, physical ability, and so on. So, all the classes, the children of all classes will get or enjoy the equal rights. They will not be differentiated in any respect. Parents and children should be conscious of the rights of children and advise and guide them accordingly. Children should have right to use their own identity along with their own and parents' name. The state holds the responsibility to protect the rights of children to live and grow. It is the responsibility of the state to ensure children's freedom of expression, development of their conscience and intelligence, and freedom of religion under the guidance of their parents. The government is responsible for protecting children from unjust scolding and beating. The state has to ensure that children get food, clothing, accommodation, education, and health care in due time. Rights of children of small ethnic minority groups, the people who live mostly in the northeastern and southeastern part of our country, should be protected regarding the practice of their indigenous culture, religion, and language. Every child has the right to enjoy leisure time, games and sports, cultural and creative activities, and children's right to abstain from economic exploitation and harmful child labor should be protected. No one should engage children in any illegal work, and the state should take measures so that children don't suffer physically, mentally, and morally. Children cannot be allowed to take part in war or armed struggle, and children's sense of honor and secrecy should be protected. So all these rights must enjoy the children. So for this reason, in short, we can say the United Nations has concentrated on all kinds of rights, including children's living, physical, mental growth, education, securities, thinking, consideration, expression of opinion, and freedom of religion, etc. And as children, we shall learn about our rights and protect us from various kinds of oppression. We know children are deprived of their fundamental rights because of poverty, lack of education, lack of awareness, and so on. And sometimes they fall victim to cruel and callous oppression. So, the government of Bangladesh has made national child policy to establish security, welfare, and development of the children. And the government has taken some protective measures for the orphan and unprivileged children who are not getting the proper opportunity, and action plan to prevent violence towards women and children also. The objectives of these steps are, we will know, removing malnutrition of children, ensuring health for all children, distributing vitamin A capsule among children to eliminate or decrease blindness, ensuring compulsory primary education for all children under the program Education for All, banning the participation of children in heavy and risky work forcefully, taking steps for the development of street children and derailed or degraded children, making and enforcing rigorous law or strict or tough law against oppression of women and children, to create Family Violence Prevention Act and implement it, to create Human Trafficking Prevention Act to prevent women and child trafficking and implement it, and paying special attention to unprivileged and disabled children. Massive public awareness is needed to implement the rights of children. And above all, wide enthusiasm, awareness, and demand about child rights among children have to be created. And by this way, we can protect the children of our country. As we know, our children are the prospective generation of the future, and we must have to protect their demands and their safe and secured life. Thank you all today up to this.